Hi, so I was looking back through the data on the videos that I've already posted, and one that gets a lot of viewing is how do I start homeschooling? So I'm going to go back and revisit that topic and improve on my previous videos about it. So today, that's what I'm going to share with you is how to start homeschooling, because most of us come from a schooling background. And starting schooling is really easy. You go into the school and you sign up, and boom, all of the decisions have been made. And as parents, it's just turning our children over to them. That we have very little of a role to play in our children's education once we turn them over to the schools. But in homeschooling, it just seems like there's so much. How do I learn about it? How do I start? So let's answer those questions. How do we start homeschooling coming from zero? To start the homeschooling process, I had to start deschooling myself. I had to start learning about what education for my daughter could look at outside of the school system, based from home. And so this was the beginning of my deschooling process, and then having conversations with my partner about it, and he was totally on board, and so he started getting books. And the deschooling process, books are a big part of it. Talking with other members of the homeschooling community about their journey is a part of it. There's films out there. There's tons of channels on YouTube put up by families that are choosing homeschooling. Blogs, tons of blogs that are out there written by homeschooling families. So there is a huge amount of information out there in the media you prefer to take in this information to begin your own deschooling process. So for me, that's where I started way back at the beginning when my daughter was actually an infant still. So that's the first part of it, is starting with the deschooling of myself and my partner, having the conversations with my partner about what this was going to mean, and going from there. One of the most important and influential groups of people that I talked with, that I got to know, were members of the homeschooling community. And the simplest thing to do is to go on Facebook and do a search for where you live, whether it's your local community, your local town, your council area, your county, your state, your territory, your country, and then homeschooling. And Facebook is great at searches, and they will give you lots of choices to choose from, and find some at all the different levels. Find some that are national, find some that are state or territorial, and then find some that are local, because every family, you can ask the exact same question to 10 different families, and you're going to get 10 different responses, because that's what homeschooling is. It is individualized to each family and even to each child within the family. If you can get into a local group, and if they are open to this, attend meetups. Start building those connections across your local community. Some are very school age oriented, and so if you've got preschoolers, they're going to not allow you to come, but usually they can point you in the direction of local preschoolers who are headed toward homeschooling, that are leaning toward homeschooling. So just start having those conversations about what your options are, because the sooner you can start immersing yourself in the homeschooling community and in the culture, the lower your learning curve. It's still going to be a big curve. It will. But the lower your learning curve will go, and the more relaxed and comfortable you're going to start to feel with this decision-making process. You're going to have to register. If you're in Australia, if you're in the US, not all the states in the US, but most of them, you're going to have to register. So find out what the legalities are. Find out who you need to register with. In most states and territories, there is a board or committee or whatever that you have to register with. Some of them only require your name. Some of them want a detailed learning plan. Some of them are going to want to visit your house. Some of them are just going to want to have a telephone chat. Some of them only want email. It's as varied as homeschooling is. But take comfort in the fact that all of us who are homeschooling have done this and we passed. When you register, usually what happens is if you hear back or there's a question, the people on the registration may just need more information. Don't let that put you off. Go to your community because they've all been there. And the homeschooling community is probably the best, most supportive and welcoming community around because we all want it's just the kind of community where people are more than happy to reach back and help the next person up. And so if you go and you say, look, I've submitted my application and they've written back and they say they need more information about blah, 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 but I don't understand, somebody is going to help you out. It's just the way the homeschooling community operates. So don't let that put you off. Just find out what the legalities are and then do what you need to do and you're going to be fine. And then set all that aside. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about academics. Once you actually start homeschooling, the academics you have, especially this is talking to somebody starting with their 5 or 6 year old, you have 13 years to cover all the academics they're going to need. So honestly, focus on the social part of it because homeschooling is 1,000 times easier when you are widely connected across the community and you have a tribe of friends that you can turn to ask questions and look for support. And when you've got something to celebrate and they know how big this is and they're like, yeah, you did it. And when you've got those people you can turn to on those really nasty days, that they are right in the trenches with you going, I understand how you feel. I have been there. You will get through this. It just makes it all so much easier. Fact of the matter is, children need time with their peers, especially in the primary years. Children do most of their learning through their play. They need easily 2 or 3 park days every week to just play in a non-adult led environment where they just go off with their friends and create their imaginary world, and they're doing problem solving and they're doing negotiation and they're doing compromise. Because the thing is, the play that they're creating, if they can't work out their problems, if they can't negotiate and compromise, the play ends. So they are all have a vested interest in finding a way to go forward that makes everyone happy. Those are invaluable skills that a lot of adults lack and that we need more of in adulthood. So I would encourage you, and this is what I did in the early primary years, and even now, my daughter's 10 now, we still look to meet up just for unstructured play 2 to 3 times a week because it is that valuable to their development. And so the academics, she reads like fish drink water. I mean, I am not worried about that. The maths is coming along. She knows more about dinosaurs in the animal world than I'll ever know in a lifetime. It's just all of the academics, the kids are interested in it, and you go to the library every week, they're going to find books. You can slide books in and they'll pick them up and read them. They don't tell you about it, but they've read it. It all just happens. It's organic, and I know that when you're new to homeschooling, you can't believe how true this is, but it's true. And so that's my strongest recommendation is for the first year or two, just focus on building social connections. Introduce yourself to everyone you meet. Look for who your children are playing with. Meet their moms. Invite them to your home. Get to know them. Cultivate your tribe of people. Go camping with them. It is the ultimate experience is to just go camping, let the kids play, the parents all get to sit around and get to know each other, the dads are involved. It is magical. So, in a nutshell, in 4 easy steps, that's how to start homeschooling. All you need to, it's not all you need to do. Deschooling can go on for years and years and years. But at the beginning, it's a lot to learn about. But at the same time, it's not. Because all it is taking what you do with your infant and your toddler and just doing it for the next 18 years. And then registering, starting to get to know the community, getting involved. That's how you start homeschooling. It's a big deal, but it's not a big deal at the same time because it's really so simple, but we complicate things, don't we? So if you have any questions, leave them below in the comments or shoot me a message.